You didn't wake up exhausted this morning because you lacked sleep. You woke up exhausted because your nervous system spent the last 8 hours running threat simulations in the dark. Even right now, sitting here, watching this screen, your system is not at rest. Your jaw is slightly clenched. Your shoulders are elevated, bracing for an impact that isn't coming. Your breathing is shallow, restricted to the top of your chest. You didn't choose any of it. You tell yourself this is just the cost of doing business. You think you are just stressed. You assume every high performer feels this constant, low-level hum of dread. They do not. What you are experiencing is a biological glitch. It has a clinical name. It is called survival mode. The problem is not your schedule, your workload, or your discipline. The problem is that your body fundamentally believes your life is in immediate physical danger, even when it isn't. To fix the machine, you have to understand how it is wired. Your brain has one primary mandate: keep the organism alive. It does not care about your happiness. It does not care about your profit margins. It only cares about survival. And it executes this mandate using an architecture that hasn't meaningfully upgraded in 50,000 years. Deep inside your temporal lobe sits the amygdala. It is small, primitive, and absolutely ruthless. Its only function is threat detection. It does not reason. It does not negotiate. It just scans the horizon. 50,000 years ago, danger was simple: a predator, a falling rock, a hostile tribe. When the amygdala detected a threat, it bypassed your rational brain completely. It fired a signal straight to the hypothalamus, flooding your bloodstream with cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate spiked. Blood pulled away from your digestive system and rushed to your limbs. Your vision narrowed. You were primed to fight, or you were primed to run. Once the predator was gone, the chemical flood receded. Your nervous system returned to a parasympathetic state, baseline, calm. That is how the system was designed to operate. But your primitive brain cannot comprehend the modern world. It does not understand a missed quarterly projection. It does not understand an unanswered email from your board of directors at midnight. It does not understand social comparison, inflation, or algorithmic pressure. To your amygdala, an ambiguous text message triggers the exact same chemical cascade as a predator in the grass. The scale of the threat is different. The biological chemistry is identical. So when you are lying in bed at 2 a.m., calculating the trajectory of your business, your body thinks you are being hunted. When you are overanalyzing a conversation with a client, your body thinks an attack is imminent. Because you are sitting at a desk or lying under the covers, there is nowhere to run. There is nothing to punch. That adrenaline cocktail just sits in your tissues, unresolved, toxifying your system. When this happens day after day, year after year, your nervous system stops trying to return to baseline. It decides that calm is too dangerous. This is hypervigilance. Your brain leaves the radar permanently switched on. You walk into a room and instantly scan for the smartest person, the biggest threat, the exit. You read the micro expressions on people's faces, anticipating a conflict before they even open their mouths. Eventually, this stops feeling like a stress response. It just becomes your personality. And when you finally do get a moment of absolute quiet, you can't enjoy it. Your mind immediately starts manufacturing new problems to solve. Because to a hypervigilant brain, peace feels like a trap. High achievers usually label this as a character flaw. You think you lack focus. You think you have an anxiety disorder. You think you just need a better morning routine or a stronger work ethic. You are completely wrong. This is not a defect. This is conditioning. At some point in your life, your nervous system learned that staying hyper alert was the only way to survive. Maybe you grew up in an unpredictable household where you had to read the mood of the room before you spoke. Maybe your early career demanded absolute perfection and a single mistake cost you everything. Your brain adapted. It realized that relaxing was a liability, so it stayed on. It learned to anticipate problems before they materialized. It turned you into a master of crisis management. And it worked. That hypervigilance is probably what made you successful. It is your edge. But the psychological term for what you are experiencing now is allostatic load. It is the cumulative structural wear and tear on your biology from chronic stress adaptation. Your system is too efficient. It treats every email, every conversation, and every silence as a life or death variable. You are not broken. You are just running a survival protocol for a war that ended years ago. You cannot fix a physiological problem with a psychological solution. You do not meditate your way out of this. You do not journal your way out of this. And you definitely do not grind your way out of this. Pushing harder just proves to your amygdala that the threat is still real. If you want to step out of survival mode, you have to speak the language of the nervous system. Here are the 3 clinical frameworks to force a system override. Protocol 1. Somatic completion. Stress is a cycle. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. The problem with modern executive life is that the threat passes, the meeting ends, the deal closes, but you never physically signal to your body that you survived. The cycle remains open. You cannot think the cycle closed. You have to move the chemistry out of your body. When the adrenaline spikes, your body expects intense physical output. Give it what it wants. Sprint, lift heavy, exhaust the muscle. You are not exercising for aesthetics. You are completing the biological stress cycle so your brain registers that the hunt is over. Protocol 2. The neurological interrupt. When you are activated, your prefrontal cortex, the logical center of your brain, shuts down. You cannot reason with yourself when you are panicking. But clinical neuropsychology proves that the simple act of precise labeling forces blood flow back to the prefrontal cortex. It is called affect labeling. Do not say, I am stressed. Say, I am experiencing a cortisol spike, my chest is tight, and my breathing is shallow. The moment you turn your physical state into objective data, you sever the emotional loop. You regain executive control. Protocol 3. Titrated safety. If you have been hypervigilant for a decade, your nervous system is suspicious of relaxation. A 2-week vacation won't heal you. It will just give you a panic attack, because the sudden lack of input feels terrifying. You must use titration. Micro doses of safety. 30 seconds of sitting in a chair, staring at a wall, proving to your brain that nothing is currently attacking you. You are not trying to reach enlightenment. You are simply building an evidence log for your amygdala that it is safe to power down, even for a moment. Here is the brutal truth that no one warns you about. When you finally start to downregulate, when the hypervigilance begins to fade, it won't feel like relief. It will feel like grief. Because that anxiety was your armor. It was your fuel. It was the mechanism that kept you safe and made you rich. You will feel like you are losing your edge. You will want to manufacture chaos just to feel normal again. Do not take the bait. You are not losing your edge. You are finally dropping a 100-pound weight you've been carrying since you were a child. The question is not whether your nervous system can heal. The question is whether you have the courage to let go of the chaos that built you.